So I got tired of making episodes and just using those same old trains that I have out. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I was digging through one of my boxes and found one of my Plarail Hiro models, and I was like, you know, I really like these, and I decided to do a review of all of the Hiro models I have. As you can see, I have quite an extensive collection. And one of them, this Plarail Hiro, I bought a year ago and never unboxed, so he is still mint. I'm gonna unwrap it for the review, but I thought I'd go ahead and do TrackMaster Hiro, TrackMaster Plarail Hiro. It depends. I'm really split on this, and I thought it'd be some great review material to kind of examine these models. They're all a little bit different, and that's cool. So today's BlueTraX review is going to be of Hiro. Without further ado, let's get started. So I think we will start off with the first Hiro that I ever got, the TrackMaster Hiro. I got him back in 2009, so he has actually just had his 10-year-old birthday. It's crazy, I can't believe it. But he's still in pretty good shape. We'll do a run around later, but you can see he's not brand new. The nameplate's seen slightly better days, but he still runs great. And I tried to take really good care of him. I bought him, now the movie had already come out, but he was hard to find. Very popular character back in the day, and one of the first characters introduced in full CGI. I didn't know how to feel about him, but I fell in love with the character from the moment I saw him on the Hero of the Rails movie. Such a great backstory. I mean, it's got flaws, but that was such a great story, and he's just a cool engine. I don't know what it is exactly about. I don't know if it's the look. But Hiro's just a very intriguing engine to me, so I always like the different renditions that they've made of him. But yeah, this model is pretty solid as far as I don't know what I can really say about it. The cool observations I made when I first got it was that the piston here works like Gordon and Henry's old model used to. See how it actually functions slightly versus just being like this one over here, the standard side rod. This one's it's a little bit more special, and they don't even use it on Gordon and Henry anymore. Sad. But I liked that because I didn't think it was an item or a arrangement they would ever really go back to. But they did for this guy, and so that's really cool. He's more of a matte black on this model, which is a little different, but it really adds to the look of the model. Color looks kind of weird here, but yeah, I'm filming at nighttime. That's a new one. But I really like that look. There's a lot of stickers. Usually the cab has windows that are physically there, but on this one it's just a sticker, so that's why I kind of made a point to be extra careful with this one so they don't wear off. But yeah, the only other thing is it's slightly inaccurate because it only has 6 drive wheels and Hiro has 8, but you know, small deal. It's still pretty nice looking overall. Runs great, is very strong. I probably overworked it in the early days, but he still pulls his weight, all things considered. The face on the TrackMaster Hiro is definitely preferable to the one that Plarail ended up using. But yeah, I really like this one. It holds a lot of memories for me in a way, and it's always a great addition. Definitely can't wait to get him into the show, but you know, you gotta work things in, right? It takes time. So those are my thoughts on him. It's a great model. I would spend more time if I didn't have 3 others to get to, but this is the original. It's really hard to beat, and I'll kind of get into that more once we discuss the Plarail version. But yeah, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the one thing I thought was really cool, they went all out during Hero of the Rails with the merchandising, but TrackMaster put out this Lost and Found hero, and it's all weathered to look like he's been sitting on that siding for a long time. They did a really, really good job. I mean, it almost, I won't say it looks real, but it's very well done. Now you can tell it's a model. Oh, there's like there's actual buildup there. What is that? I think it's just dust. But yeah, he even has a cobweb now. It's been a while since I touched this one. I bought it specifically back when I was thinking of making a remake of Hero of the Rails, and it was like 5 or 6 years ago. Never really got around to it, but it's really a nice model. It's a little longer. It's a little different than the original. So it's a talking hero. There's no batteries in it right now because I didn't want them to get corroded, but it talks. So there's a speaker in the tender, and there's a talk only mode, and there's a drive and talk mode. But as you can see, it's wired up to the main engine because the battery goes in there. And so tender is a little bit, there's not as much wiggle room in the back. But the wheelbase is kind of the weird thing on this model. It's significantly longer than the one on this one. See, normal width, and then here there's like a lot more space between the wheels. And I'm not really sure why that was done, because he's not really longer than the TrackMaster one, the normal hero, and it's like kind of crowded up in here. I don't know if it's the mechanics. It might be these things they get to switch the face around. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Hopefully it's not too freaky for you guys, but they make these special tracks, and there's like a bump, and it'll hit one of these, and it'll change his mood. And so yeah, now Hero's not happy, he's anxious, something like that. Don't really like that face. I prefer the normal one, where he's like, yeah, I'm getting rescued. But yeah, they went into a lot of detail for this. They even modeled the buffer falling off. I mean, and the smoke deflector is kind of sideways. I'm very impressed with this one. I just liked it. I was like, I don't care if I never use it. It's just a cool model to have. And usually I only get the standard ones with a few exceptions. But yeah, running wise, it's slightly problematic. The wheelbase is a little bit long, so it works on most curves, and but some switches it gets stuck, and even on those tracks that are supposed to help swap the face, it isn't perfect. Not the most practical, but again, I would only really use it for aesthetics. I mean, he doesn't really drive in this condition, so minor consequences there. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a great model from a looks standpoint. I guess I don't really need it to run great. So yeah, that's about it. TrackMaster never really made a patchwork hero where he's in that like colorful phase, and I kind of wish they did in a way, because they really nailed Hero's look. TrackMaster did. Proportionally, it's good. The facial expressions look a lot nicer too. However, Plarail did pull through with that patchwork hero, and so that's what I'm going to review next. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Plarail's version of Hiro. A couple of stark differences right off the bat. Now, funny story, I never really liked from the pictures this Plarail Hiro, and I'll go into why, but I saw that he came with this slate truck that's colored really well, and it comes with barrels, you know, a cargo a freight car with cargo is pretty much unheard of now with new releases. Now it's like, I'll buy it just for that. So I did, and I've never really examined this model before. But there are some pretty interesting surprises here, and I'd like to kind of go into that because there is some merit to the Plarail model. It's not perfect, but we'll go ahead and dig in here. So I talked about the TrackMaster Hiro having better proportions overall, and I think the reason Plarail's looks kind of interesting, aside from the face, is that Plarail also makes other trains that aren't, Thomas, but they run on the same track system. And so they have a line of Japanese engines, and one of them is the D51, which is Hiro's prototype. So it looks like what they did was they took that existing model and Thomasified it. And not a bad approach, to be honest. I mean, it's very photorealistic, as much as a Plarail model can be. The Japanese coupling here is a lot more pronounced than it is on TrackMaster. His handrail is there. It's very hard to see, but it is there. And there's even the structure that would hold up a real-life smoke deflector is at least depicted in there. If you bought, you'd have to, oh wait, there you go. As you can see, highly detailed. It looks like they even have lamp iron rods in the event you wanted to put those on. The lamp is colored in silver. It's very true to life. One thing I do like is they colored the lining on this bit, which is not colored on the TrackMaster one. All the extra stuff that's really not even on the show version of Hiro is on this version. And I do like that they got his window there. It's not on. There are more details on this version of Hiro. And even the tender. The tender is very impressive. There's spots for the crew to stand. And foot plates. None of that's on this one. It's a very basic tender. Well, this one's like IRL status over here. And it's about the same size though. And then in the middle here, you can see that it at least tries to demonstrate that he has 8 drive wheels instead of 6. It looks really awkward, I'll be honest. I'd rather them not try, but they did, and it's there. And so it's worth observing. And of course, they got his other ones. Even this rod connects very well. I have mixed, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. The boiler is absolutely huge. His face takes up so much room, and from a distance it's okay, but when you compare it to other models, TrackMaster and Plarail alike, it's just unbelievably large. It doesn't fit. I'll pull this one here. This TrackMaster Hiro's face is about usual size, right? And then it doesn't look so bad here, but in person it's a lot bigger. Maybe it's just a me thing, but proportionally that's the only thing that seems to be a bit off in my mind. So it's a good model in some ways. It has some really good strengths, like aesthetically it's a nice glossy black. The boiler bands are very overtly painted. Lots of good details. If you like those things, I definitely do. So, not a lot bad to say about it. It's just not. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's the face. It's probably the face. It doesn't look very comfortable. I don't know what this is. And this is the most neutral expression I've ever seen. TrackMaster Victor is probably a distant second for. What does that say to you? It's just so blank. For that reason, I probably wouldn't really use this one in like video productions unless I really need him to look disturbed at something. Because I don't know, the mood of this one over here is just a lot better, TrackMaster one. It is what it is though. So let's go ahead and talk about the Patchwork Hiro, because that's the more interesting one. If you throw away logic for a second, Patchwork Hiro is a really cool concept, you know. The engines are just bringing random parts to repair Hiro, including his boiler, and it's just happenstance that it is his exact one, and same goes for pretty much every other part that they replaced. My only theory is that Hiro's parts did come in, and instead of fixing him, they just repainted them random colors and threw them in the backyard or something. Not to mention just the I don't know what the laws of nature are, like when you replace an engine's boiler, like how's that? I don't know. It's beyond the scope of this review. But I did want to just kind of highlight the Plarail Patchwork Hiro model. Same gripes and praises as the normal one, the original Plarail Hiro model. But now that it's more colorful, you can kind of see what I was talking about with the details a little bit more. It's just, it definitely looks like it was based on a true to life like model of a D51. And then yeah, so they just recolored it a little bit. It's faithful to the show adaptation. This deflector is purple. I don't know if you can see that very well. They even replaced this wheel, which they didn't really show. Well, I guess it was that last scene at the Steamworks, right? I didn't really pay attention to that before, but I guess he had a new wheel to add to everything else. And then the other side here, just so you can see it. So yeah. The tender is brand new. It's not weathered like it should be, but it's okay, really. It's a collector's item model, really. It's a part of Thomas history, I guess. No, this Plarail model puts me in a weird mood. Usually I'm a lot more, I know what I want to say, but I am just deeply confused with this. I never really looked at these up close till now. I don't know. When it comes to Plarail, this is the first time they did so well and yet so terrible on a model when it comes to Hiro. I cannot decide if I like it or not. I mean, they made the Patchwork one, which is why I got it, and I went ahead and grabbed the Plarail Hiro in case it was discontinued because it looked for a minute that Plarail was like going to expire, so I was like, better snag that. Thankfully, they're doing better these days, and I hope they continue to do well. But it'd be really cool if they updated this face or the proportions or something. I really like the TrackMaster Hiro. It's superior as far as the way it looks, you know, pays homage to the show model, whereas this one just, I mean, the smoke deflectors are even separate. That's what I'm saying. They did such a great job on it, and yet I hate it. Or I don't hate it. It's just, it just looks different. It doesn't look like it belongs. But it is what it is. This is my Hiro collection. I love it and I am proud of it. But yeah, that's Hiro. Put in the comments what you think. If you have these or some of these, feel free to share. I always like it when people flex their collection. And yeah, Hiro I plan to incorporate into the series eventually. I haven't quite hashed out. After volume 3, I definitely am going to adapt the Magic Railroad, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it like another full-length idea or if I'm gonna just make that volume 4. So depending, Hiro will come after that in volume 4 or volume 5 in the TrackMaster form. Unless I do remakes of Hero of the Rails, then you'll see the others. But I guess that's what to expect there, and I hope you enjoyed the review. I feel like I rambled a lot, so if you came all the way to the end of the video, thanks so much. And Thanks for bearing with me. It's been a long day. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Tune in next time. Thanks.
Was called Master of the Railway. I was one of the first steam engines to arrive on Sodor.